Hello, I'm Alex and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is a place where I talk about what I've been knitting each month, and today I actually have something to show you that I've sewn. I haven't shown a sewing piece for quite some time, so I'll start by talking about what I'm wearing. I'll put my cup of tea. I've got a blackberry and elderflower tea today. Pop that down and let you know that I'm wearing a Sina by Jacqueline C. Slack that I knit using Wool of the Andes, which is a Knit Picks yarn. This is the worsted weight and I used the Merlot Heather colourway, so that's what I'm wearing today. And yeah, I think I will start by quickly, I've only got one thing to show, so I'll show you the piece that I have sewn, and it's a Nico top, which is as you can see, a little, I think you maybe call that a turtleneck. It's got a small neck, just very simple. The cuffs and the hem I've just sewn using a single line of stitching, and everything has been overlocked. So I used my overlocker. I haven't matched the overlocking thread, but nobody's going to see that apart from you, but no one will know when I'm wearing it. And usually I use a twin needle to sew my cuffs and hem, but I actually broke the needle and I have two and they're both broken. I hadn't thought to order another one, but I think it looks perfectly fine. No one's going to notice. It has a really nice neat finish there at the bottom. And I think this is a really lovely colour. I'm sure I must have shown this fabric a while ago, had it in my stash for quite some time. It's a beautiful jersey that I got at Mizzen Textiles on Berwick Street in London, and I had a little bit of that left from another top. I'd made a sort of scoop neck top that I wear a lot, and I really like that colour. All those autumnal shades really my kind of thing, so I'm definitely trying to incorporate more of that into my wardrobe. Every time I'm knitting or sewing things, I'm really thinking about the colour palette, so those definitely are the colours that I'm drawn to and I feel happiest and most comfortable wearing. I just love them, and I'll show you, I've got a little bit of this sort of orange shade in the first project that I've got on my needles. So I've got this in one of my little top handle totes. Thank you to everyone who ordered one of these after I showed them last time. I am loving these bags and I'm so pleased that so many of you like them as well. And to be honest, my sweater's probably a little bit big to be sitting in here, but you know when you have something new and you just really want to use it, that's how I feel. Like, even though these are my bags, that's how excited I get about new things. So I'm knitting Cinder, which is a pattern by Jessica McDonald, and you can see, although it's grey background, it has got this lovely warm fiery orange shade that's running through it that I was talking about. So I've put it on an extra long cord so I could kind of try and show you. The body has been separated from the sleeves, and yeah, now it's just round and round and round, stockinette for days and days and days. I'm really enjoying it. It's got a little bit of short row shaping at the neck, so it has quite a high neck compared to my pheasant pullover, which is another colourwork sweater I knit that is a similar gauge using Jameson & Smith 2-ply jumper weight. I'm going to leave the colourways in the show notes because they're all numbers, so I don't remember what they are, but I'll leave the show notes link just below this video. There'll be a link that will take you over to the blog that will have all the patterns, yarns, anything I talk about there. And I've mentioned in previous videos, if you want to get the show notes to your email, every time a new video goes live on my YouTube channel, I send an email straight away to everybody who are on my mailing list for this channel, and you can sign up for that list below this email as well. So if you think you'd like that, sign up, and anytime a video goes live, all the show notes will just go straight to your email and you'll be able to see what I've knit before you even watch the video. So the colourways will be in the show notes, but you can see I've got a grey background, purple, and this sort of orange shade. And yeah, really pleased with how it's coming along. When I put it on this longer cord, I was able to try it on, and I can see it's a pretty good fit. Felt a little bit snug around the shoulders. I think the yarn really needs blocking, so I think that will relax. I'm not worried about that. As I said, I've knit it at a very similar gauge to my pheasant pullover, which I wear a lot, and I know that that feels really comfortable, even though it has colour work around that section. So I think when I knit that will be, when I block that, it will be comfortable. I can actually show you inside. You can see, like, this is where my floats are, and I mean, don't know if you'll be able to see that, but I feel like there's still quite a lot of stretch, there's a lot of give. It doesn't seem too tight from the inside. Yeah, don't know if anyone finds that interesting. Sometimes it's so pretty to see how things look on the inside. But really enjoyable project. I was kindly gifted the pattern by Jessica, so I mentioned that she did send me the pattern, but I did choose this. So I had a look through her collection. She's got some beautiful sweaters. She does children's wear, all sorts, but this was the sweater that I really wanted to knit. So I'm pleased that I've got this on the needles and I've got past the colour work. So it's a lovely project. I probably will make quite fast progress on this. Famous last words. Probably will make fast progress just because I can literally pick this up now anytime. All I'm doing is going round and round and round and round. So don't have to give it a second thought. So any spare 5 minutes, even when I'm cooking the dinner, I could sit down for 5 minutes while pasta's boiling or something, knit a few rows. It's not like the sort of project where you have to pick it up and take a second to even think, where am I? And you know, you just don't do that, do you, when you have those small moments of time? But with a jumper like that, where you literally are just doing stockinette, you can pick that up anytime. And even if I'm tired in the evenings, doesn't use any brain power. So I'm really happy to have got to that point on the sweater. Somebody was actually saying, in my comments, I think it was Elizabeth, she mentioned that she was really nearly finished on the sleeves and they just felt like they were taking so long. It was like really starting to drag that end of the project. And that's the sort of feeling that I get more on the body with the sleeves, because they're such a small circumference. I actually don't mind knitting the sleeves, and I feel like I'm sort of nearly so close to the end that I just want to whiz through them and get to the end. But on the body, that's where I feel like sometimes it's a bit of a slog, because you feel like you're knitting and knitting and knitting and you just can't see the progress. So like with that sweater, I've been knitting that all week since the weekend, and I've still only got a couple of inches to show for all that knitting. It feels like I've done a lot. So I feel like I get that feeling that people have when they talk about being on Sleeve Island and hating knitting the sleeves. I think I have that when I'm in the middle of a big body section, because I get to the point where I can't see that any progress is being made. It feels like I'm just knitting and knitting and knitting and nothing's happening. So I'm expecting that I'll probably hit that wall soon. But I have got a couple of other projects that I can pick up. So I've got a new spring bag to show you, which I'm very excited. This is the first time you guys are seeing this on the video, but if you've been following me on Instagram or if you're on your newsletter, you'll have seen this. But yeah, finally got a pink bag, and it is the perfect time for spring projects. And I cast on a pair of socks for Valentine's. So this is a skein of Cascade Heritage Solids in the Chanterelle colourway. It's a beautiful soft pink that you can see is a very good match for my bag. I think those go really nicely. So yes, I cast these on Valentine's Day as a little treat for myself, and it's the I'll take it out of this. It's one of my DPN cozies. These are in the shop as well if you're interested in these for keeping your needles in order. And you can see it's the At the Vicarage pattern by Olivia of This Handmade Life, and it's a very, very simple lace pattern. I find it really easy to follow the pattern. I kind of just need to glance at it every now and then. It's simple yarn overs. If you can do yarn overs, knit two together and slip slip knit. It's a combination of those stitches over several rows. Think off the top of my head, I want to say it's maybe 8 rows, and every other row is a knit row. So it's a really nice simple sock pattern, and I actually really love the heel that Olivia has in this pattern. So there's no wrapping and turning. It's got a very, very simple heel, the way it comes together. I'm not really sure how to describe it without giving the pattern away, but if you fancy giving it a try, I really highly recommend downloading the pattern, especially if you're new to doing toe-up socks. It might be a good one because, as I say, it is quite a simple heel to do, so might be a good one if you're new to doing these kind of socks. But yeah, loving these, and I have knit this pattern before, so I know that they're going to come out beautifully, but I just thought it was a nice sort of combination with this sort of lace. Had a little bit of a romantic feel, and I thought it would look lovely in the pink. And yeah, so let me get those And try not to make such a mess today. Usually when I'm doing a video like this, I'm just throwing everything to one side, but let's put everything away neatly as we go, shall we? Just got, what else have I got to show you? I think that might be it. I've got one small project that is actually a secret. I'm not really supposed to be showing you this. So a friend of mine is releasing a new pattern soon, and she asked if I would do a little test knit, and I'll just show you that tiny weeny little bit. This is all I'm going to show you. So it's got this beautiful folded over ribbing, and I'm knitting this in, this is actually called mustard. I wouldn't say this is a mustard yellow. It's another skein of the Cascade Heritage solids. If you've watched my videos before, you'll know I bought loads of this yarn so I could do a video showing exactly what fits in all the different size bags I have. So I've got this yarn coming out my ears, so this is another project I'm going to use, and don't want to give too much away, but I picked the yellow because it goes very well with something khaki that I have in my wardrobe, and I think it will go well with that. So I won't say anything more about that, but I'm halfway through that, so just wanted to pop that on there to show that I have been knitting on some other things, because it doesn't look like I've had a lot going on. I've just got those socks and yeah, the sweater, so I feel like there's not too much to see this week, but I hope you enjoyed seeing what I'm working on. I love chatting to you about what I'm knitting and sewing, and I'd love for you to tell me, what are you knitting at the moment? I love getting some good pattern recommendations, and I always look up any recommendations you give me, or if you tell me what you're working on, I always look up the patterns so I can have a good idea of what's on your needles as well. So don't forget, if you want to have a look at what's in the shop, you can find the link to the shop below, and there'll be a link to the show notes as well. Hope you enjoyed this short and sweet video, and I will see you in a couple of weeks' time. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.